All right, now before we get into this one, I'm going to give you a better background because I'm not really going to be playing the game. This is going to be a discussion, review, and topic related video. So, no real gameplay. So, I figured I'd get you right here in front of this little sign here. There we go. Nice. We're looking good. All right, here we go. What's going on YouTube? Kamikazevondoom here with another Division 2 video. So sit back, relax, grab that popcorn, you know the deal. And let's get into it. So this is going to be my review video for the upcoming title update and season. So the title update is 17 and it will be season 11. Now season 11 is set to be our final season of year 4, and then this will, catapult us into year 5 and whatever else they have ready for us. Now, this is going to be a honest review from everything I tested and everything I did in the PTS, which, side note, by the way, I know I'm still doing a lot of PTS content. That is because I work my butt off, and during those 4 days of the PTS, I recorded probably a few dozen videos. Yes, dozen. So I'm putting them all together and I'm still releasing PTS videos as we speak. But this review is more important in my kind of, decision making. I feel like this review needs to be said now because what it's looking like is they are using this time to work on the update before they ship it out instead of giving us another phase. So we're going to talk about all of that and more. Trust me. I mean, this is we're going to go deep into this one because it's my honest opinion, and this needs to be addressed like ASAP. So season 11, title update 17 PTS just ended on Tuesday, like normal. Usually a PTS phase will last from Friday morning to Tuesday morning, and it did. The shocking part that everyone was worried about is that they announced that there will be no other phase, and that they're just moving on with the update. And the next thing we will get from them is a save the date for their live stream where they're going to, I guess, publicly reveal season 11 to us. Um, I would assume there will be year 5 information in there, probably the new game mode information in there, and more. So, yes, the PTS is over. Now, let's talk about, what was actually in the PTS. Okay. Now, before a lot of you get mad about it only having one phase, I'll remind you, yes, in season 9 we had 3 phases to the PTS, in season 10 we had 2, and in this one we have one phase. But I'll explain to you why that is. Okay. What was actually in this PTS? So you would have to ask yourself that, right? Now, I made a video prior to this talking about how season 11 was getting hyped too much. It was a hype scam, is the term I used. And the reason I said that is all of the topics that people were bringing up about season 11 were outdated. They were things that were said months prior, where if you stay up to date on Twitter or social media or anything, you would see that a lot of these things have been either reverted, delayed, what have you. So let me give you the 3 topics that are up for discussion there. Um, there were a lot of rumors that the new game mode would come out with this update and season 11. And I'm still getting comments about that. The answer is no. The game mode was delayed until sometime in year 5. They haven't said when. It is coming. It will, it's a thing. It's not going to get canceled, but it was delayed until further notice. I'm sure they will give us more information as soon as this live stream hits, and we'll get to my guess on when that's going to happen as well. So, with this PTS, a lot of people were looking forward to a new game mode. That was the first topic. The second topic was the new specialization revamps. Again, that was mentioned prior, but that was also delayed until further notice. So the specialization revamps, in my opinion, isn't even on the table right now. We're in trouble just getting the normal stuff, like asking for something that's completely game changing. That is a game changer. like that's like a real game changer because once they change those specializations, every single build in the entire game changes. Every single thing you put together changes. And that's a for real game changer. And that's been delayed. So that's topic number 2. Okay. So new game mode delayed, new specialization revamp delayed. Okay. The other thing was PvP changes. That was topic number 3. And that was supposed to be the big thing for the PvP community because that was said prior. But as we have seen since those quotes, we have seen the exact same problem in PvP say it was fixed the entire year and it was just fixed now, which is the shrapnel traps. So, in those quotes from Yannick way back, he said, we have heard about, the shrapnel traps. We are looking at it. We will fix it. That was before season 9. Now that we're going into season 11, we have seen that, okay, now the shrapnel traps are fixed. Okay, boom. That's one PvP change. Okay. The other change is the jammer pulse, which, if you don't know about, I'll give you a really quick breakdown. So, in a typical PvP build, let me just show you my typical DPS build. This is the build I use in Conflict 99.999% of the time I play. I have used this build in Conflict PvP probably 5,000 times. I'm not even kidding. I use it on all platforms. But as you would notice, I use the Jammer Pulse, and it is a tier 0. I use this in PvP. I use it all the time. I use it every day. I'm in Conflict every single day, whether it's on Xbox, PlayStation, or PC. I mean, I've got them all leveled up. And I use the exact same build on all platforms. And it does have the Jammer Pulse. It's a tier 0. So, with this new update, I would not be able to jam anything other than a tier 0 build. So that would mean that my jammer would not work on any skill builds, any healers, nothing. If they even have technician on and they get the +1 skill tier, you know what I mean? They would be tier 1 and I wouldn't be able to jam them. That was the change, which is a dramatic change for PvP. So much so that the community had huge backlash and they're not reverting it, they're reworking it, is what they said. So we're not sure exactly what's going to happen with that. But that was the change that they were proposing for this PTS, and it was immediately rejected by the community. So we'll see where the reworks go. Okay. Now, that was the 3 main topics that were to hype up season 11. And none of those are in this, none of them are here. Like even the PvP changes, that shrapnel trap was supposed to be fixed updates ago. And the only other change was the jammer, and the community doesn't like that, so they're going back and reworking it again. So that doesn't apply here either. So then you look at, well, season 11, of course, we get the new gear, new exotics, new all that. And then it's like, yeah, but now we're getting less of that as well. And it sucks. It really does suck. And as a avid fan and player of this game, it's crazy that it's this noticeable. And let me explain. So, in normal seasons, meaning seasons 1 through 8, because they were reruns, we had 4 seasons a year every year. And this year we were supposed to have seasons 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, due to delays and pushbacks, season 12 has been completely deleted off of year 4. There is no season 12. And in fact, they're starting year 5 with just season 1. So season 12 is not even in the picture. Season 11 was supposed to be in December, and now we're getting it maybe February, late January, and I'll explain that date here in a second as well. So you look at it that way and you're like, wow, I mean, they pushed this update, pretty far to the right. It has to have like at least the same that the prior update had, right? Well, let's look at this. So, season 9, we were given a brand set, a gear set, new weapons, new named weapons, and 3 new exotics, right? One of them was bugged, the blue screen, and it was supposed to be only in the manhunt, but you could also get in general loot and all that. But you had the 2 exotics in the reward track, and then 1 exotic in the manhunt. Okay. Then you go to season 10, same thing. New brand set, gear set. This time, the named weapons were reskins, right? The lefty and the stage left. They were reskins of the 612 or the ACS 12 and the you know what I'm talking about. So right then we don't have new weapon variants. And then you talk about the exotics. Well, they left the doctor home to the manhunt, and then we only had 2 exotics in the reward track. Okay? Now, if I'm looking at this correctly, let's see here. We get an exotic cache at 95, bloody at 90, busy Lil B at 85. Okay? That's it. Yeah. So you only get 2 exotics in the season reward track now. And the third exotic was General Anderson. Okay. Well, this coming season, for season 11, we are only getting 2 exotics. Just 2. That is the brand new exotic marksman rifle, the Sacrum Imperium, and the Ninja Bike Messenger backpack. Now, the Ninja Bike Messenger backpack wasn't even able to be tested. And if you go to the expertise table, you can see that there's 2 different slots for it and it's not finished. So that would raise the question, okay, well, if we're not going to have a new exotic in the manhunt, that would mean the Ninja Bike would have to be in the seasonal reward track. But if it's not finished, they would have to put it in the manhunt, which would then make only 1 exotic in the reward track. So either way you chop it up, we're losing exotics now because we would typically get 3 every single season prior. And now we're only getting 2, right? So you hear me? And this is just the exotics part of this season. I mean, I'm breaking all this down. All right. So exotics, we'll chop that up as a big L because we're losing an exotic. And I mean, if you even want to compare 9 through 11 to 1 and 4, we don't even get skill variants either. So we're missing out a lot on the content part. Go to the weapons for this PTS and for this season. We have a new named G28 called the Relic, which it is fun to use. I mean, it's a spamming sniper, but it is not the best sniper in the game at all, by far. And in fact, I would probably say that it might be one of the least used snipers in the game. I mean, have you ever heard anyone say, "Hey, Bob, didn't you wanted the G28, right? I just got a god rolled G28. You want it?" Like, no one's ever said that, ever. Or what's the other named weapon? We have a named police magnum, right? And it's called the Prophet. It shoots, and it's a nail driver. Like it's a nice one when the talent works. And that's a whole nother thing right there. Is that not only are these weapons just reskins of things we already had in the game again, this is the second season in a row that we are not getting new weapons. We are getting reskins for named weapons only. So that's less content right there, right? So now we're getting one less exotic, and we're not getting any new weapons added to the game, except for that, one exotic sniper. Okay, so right there, I'd chalk that up as a loss, right? A big L. So we're losing content where, for exotics, we're losing content for weapons. So let's talk about gear. Okay. I tested out the brand set, the Habsburg Guard. And I'll put this one up as a W. It's a win. Okay. The only caveat is I would probably switch around the brand set bonuses and make it less sniper dependent, because having that sniper damage there, it's too dominant. You want it in a better slot. I'd probably put it in the third slot and then switch it with the status effects. But that's just me. Anyways, as far as the Habsburg Guard brand set, I mean, it's not bad. It works as advertised. It's good. It comes with two new named um, gear items. The chest piece has perfect trauma, and the backpack has perfect creeping death. Now, the cool thing is that with the trauma, you can use that with the first brand set bonus being headshot damage. So that makes having a trauma build really fun. So if you like running normal trauma, they're giving you a really good named item to use. Totally recommend. Big, big W. All right. The Creeping Death, on the other hand, and I'll be releasing, like little test builds that I did with all these pieces, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. The Perfect Creeping Death was okay, but the way the brand set bonuses are for that Habsburg Guard, it makes it near impossible to use the status effects in the most efficient way, because the Habsburg Guard bonuses go headshot, marksman rifle, status. And you would have to use a three piece. And if you're using a three piece, you would probably have to use a marksman rifle, because now you're spec'd into headshot and marksman. Like, it's horrible. But I did put it together with a status build, and I liked it. The only problem is I couldn't utilize a good brand set bonus, so it kind of makes that backpack not as good as normal Creeping Death with like Wyvern or Golden Gear or Empress, something like that. So as far as the brand set and named items, it's a W, except for the Perfect Creeping Death and that status bonus under the Habsburg Guard. I think those need to be tweaked, because if not, that backpack is going to be in the stash. All right. So now we've talked about the exotics, the named weapons. We have talked about the brand set. Now let's talk about the gear set. The brand new gear set coming in to Season 11 is currently bugged. And let me explain. So you can go back to the PTS patch notes, and there is a long list of known issues in that PTS, a lot of which revolved around the gear set. So the gear set is called Hot Shot. Now, I've already done a build video with Hot Shot, and I think I'm doing a gear set breakdown video and also a short for it as well. But Hot Shot is the new gear set that if you get headshots consecutively, you get different bonuses. So if you hit one headshot, you get extra damage. If you hit two headshots, you get bonus armor. You hit three headshots, it refills your magazine. All right, that's the cycle. Headshot damage, bonus armor, refills your magazine. Now, the bonus armor and damage both stack, and they do not have a cooldown. So, what I was doing in the Dark Zone is I would have 2 million armor on a full headshot build with damaged targets at a cover and that sniper. And I was hitting some insane damage numbers with a 2 million armor build. And not only that, but I had the chest piece on, which would give you 100% bonus armor. And I was walking around with over 4 million armor and just two-shotting everything, one-shotting some enemies. But that's because the damage would stack. And what do I mean by stack? So hot shot, it's a cycle. You have 3 headshots in a row. If you can get those 3 headshots in a row, you complete the cycle. Well, if say you only do the first bonus, gives you headshot damage. So say I hit a headshot and then I miss. It goes back to the cycle, which is headshot again. So if I go headshot miss, headshot miss, headshot miss, it would stack. You see what I'm saying here? And in the dark zone, we were having people hit for 1 billion damage with a SVD. So much so, if you go back to my live stream for the PTS, we were in the dark zone the entire time. And I was using this build. And one of the people I was with was like, dude, I'm hitting some crazy numbers. Let me go rogue on you. And he would one-shot me even with my 4 million armor. He would one-shot me every time with a SVD. And it was because his damage kept stacking. Every time we went to a landmark. And then same with my armor. I had that bonus armor forever. And not only that, it would keep applying. So I would have like forever bonus armor with this set. So let's just say that gear set has a lot of tweaking that needs to be done before it comes out. Because right now, it's kind of a big L, in my opinion, because it's broken. And if they let that in the live game, the PvP community is going to eat that up because that's stupid. Not only that, but we were seeing that it was proccing with other weapons other than the marksman rifle, even though in the description it says you have to hit those headshots with a marksman rifle. But it was still working with other weapons as well. So that's going to be something they're going to need to look into. Okay. Now, just so you know, for that gear set, the chest piece would give you 100% bonus armor, and then the backpack will give you a opportunity to miss a shot without resetting the cycle. So say you hit 2 consecutive headshots and then you miss the third one, it'll allow you to try again, basically. And that's the hotshot gear set. Okay. So we've talked about the PvP changes, the exotics, the named weapons, the brand set, named gear items, and now the gear set. So let's talk about the only real change left, and then that's the exotics. So in this update, they released, and I think I can show you. So here's the Eagle Bearer. They released that into the Dark Zone. And if I can go, it might be in my stash. Maybe I can show you. No. All right. It's on my other character. But anyways, they released the Eagle Bearer, the Ravenous, and the Bighorn to the Dark Zone. Now, this had huge outrage. Well, let me kind of tame that down a little bit, okay? And here's my review on that. I played the PTS more than I would say anyone, period. I'm pretty sure if they brought up the Season 11 PTS numbers, I probably played more than anyone. And the entire time was in the Dark Zone. I played the entire time. I almost had a complete full day of gameplay on a brand new character in the PTS, just fully Dark Zone the entire time. The entire time. Even when I live streamed the PTS, I was in the Dark Zone the whole time. Doing landmarks, killing patrols, extracting, doing the loot runs, the whole nine, supply drops, everything. I was able to receive a few exotic components. I was able to get a pestilence to drop, a couple BTSU gloves, things like that. Not once did I see an eagle bearer, a ravenous, or a bighorn. Not once. I was able to get, like I said, pestilence, BTSU gloves. I think I got the vial mask, but I mean that was it. In total, the entire PTS, and I played the full 4 days. I played all of those days in the Dark Zone. I probably was able to get 7 or 8 exotics total, and then about that many exotic components. Um, and not once was it an eagle bearer, a ravenous, or a bighorn. So I'm thinking that the drop rates are ridiculously low. Remember that the exotic components drop rate in the Dark Zone is 25%. It's the biggest in the entire game. So doing those loot runs or whatever in the Dark Zone, in theory, would give you the best chance of getting exotic components. Now, the best way to get a guaranteed exotic is the Anderson mission. We all know this. It's a guaranteed no matter what every single time. In the Dark Zone, there could be someone else that hit the chest. There could be, rogues that keep you from the chest. There could be NPCs everywhere. I mean, what have you. So it's always a guess, but the exotic components are there. Now, as far as the exotic drops and having the raid exclusives added to it, I think your chances are very low. It will it will force you to farm the Dark Zone. I think out of everyone in the PTS, I saw maybe 2 eagle bearers on social media, and then a ravenous. I didn't see anyone get the bighorn at all, and I don't think anyone was able to get the other exotics really. It was just a few people that I know of, and I check all that pretty frequently. So as far as those exotic rates, my review, your chances, believe it or not, are probably still higher to get it if you do the raid. But having the opportunity to go to the Dark Zone is to fill up the Dark Zone. They want you to farm it. And they're not going to make it easy for you. They're not going to give you these raid exotics for free. They're going to make you farm it. Now, maybe you get the best RNG in the world, but to get all 3 of those exclusives in the Dark Zone is going to take you a long time to do. So, there's that. All right. So, overall, Season 11, we're getting less than we have ever gotten for the game as far as actual real content for a season. And it sucks. And my last thing I want to point out is how sniper reliant this season is making the community when a majority of the community does not want to do that. And let me know in the comments how you feel about that. If you're a avid sniper user, let me know. If you don't like snipers, let me know. But I'm pretty sure a majority of people don't really use snipers unless it's like the Nemesis or the White Death or maybe the SVD. And this is a gear set aimed towards marksman rifles. We're getting a named marksman rifle and an exotic marksman rifle. And the brand set is aimed towards that exotic marksman rifle. And it's a no-brainer that everything added to this game, except for that pistol and maybe the ninja bike, if it's finished, it's all aimed towards marksman rifles and using the brand new exotic marksman rifle. So let me know what you think about that. I'm not a fan of that. I don't think that that's a smart choice, because then what's the point of farming all this except for just the ninja bike messenger bag? I mean, that's looking like they're saving grace, and we don't even know anything about it. We don't know what core attributes, what normal attributes. We don't know anything. I got to see what it looked like just because of that placard in the PTS, but as far as that, we don't know anything else. It has the same talent from the first game, and that's it. But all right, that is my review. If I were to chalk this one up, to be brutally honest, this was the shortest PTS in history, and what we had in the PTS was either bugged, broken, or not what we really want. Um, and I understand that as a developer, that it's not aimed at the community. Developers are artists, and this is what they are making. Um, and that's good. It's better than nothing. But I think that the focus is so hyper fixated on snipers and marksman rifles, and that's really going to put the community in a bind because the majority of us don't want to do that. I mean, it's fun for a few days, but let's be real, I'm not going to touch any of that because it's aimed towards snipers. Um, but that ninja bike, yeah, give me that ninja bike. I want that. I want to know everything about that. But until then, I'm going to chalk this up as probably the worst PTS ever. And if that ninja bike doesn't make it into this update, it's going to be the worst update ever so far as a update with quote unquote content. I mean, we've had maintenance updates, okay, whatever. But I'm talking about actual content for the game being added to the game. Like season 11 will have the new manhunts, which I'm excited for. But as far as the reward track and all of the stuff within the season, it's not much. Not much. And it's weird because we're getting a huge uptick in premium outfits that cost premium credits. And we're getting a huge uptick in apparel events. But as far as exotics, new weapons to actually use, named weapons that we want, I mean, we're better off using the normal focus on a better weapon than we are using the Prophet or the Relic. I mean, you could easily use a D50 with focus and, outperform that Prophet. You could easily put focus on an SVD and outperform that, that Relic. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Now, I will be releasing more PTS content, so stay tuned for that. I'm Kamikazevondoom. Have a good day, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Peace.